Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 218 based on novel. So let's start. The next day. When the first ray of sunshine in the morning shines on the bed through the window, Xiao Yan, who has slept all night, also wakes up leisurely. Deep sleep expels all the fatigue of Xiao Yan in the past month and a half. The whole person feels much easier from body to soul. This comfortable feeling has not been felt for a long time. It's time to go to the city. I don't know how long it will take to repair the boat. When we went out, the streets outside the tavern were already full of pedestrians, and there was a lot of noise. The whole city was busy in the new day. Walking among the crowd, Xiao Yang, who was wearing a black robe and thin, seemed insignificant, but he had a keen eye that ordinary people did not have. In the center of the city, there is not only the post office set up by Longzifang, but also the manager of Longzifang. When he goes there, Xiao Yang can get some information he wants to know. In a short moment, a large loft in the center of the city appeared in Xiao Yang's sight. Without exception, the sign of Longzifang was hung on those lofts, and the floor area of this loft was around the best area in the Northern Army city. I have to say that Longzifang's move was a big deal. I couldn't help but marvel. Just as Xiao Yang continued to move forward, there was a sharp breath at the end of the rear street. The owner of that breath was a 7-star fighting emperor. At this time, the latter's body is flying in the air, the soles of his feet step on the shoulders of the pedestrians in front, and his body rushes forward. Although this person's behavior seems domineering, most people in the city still choose to bear it in the face of the latter's strength, especially some passers-by who know this person cast disgusting and fearful eyes on the latter. Seeing the figure approaching quickly later, the passers-by beside Xiao Yang retreated consciously. In the twinkling of an eye, there was only Xiao Yang left on the street. With a frown, when Xiao Yang was trying to avoid it, the figure actually came to Xiao Yang's head and stepped down impolitely. This time, it was directly facing Xiao Yang's head. "Be a stepping stone for me. I don't want to dirty my shoes." The voice of fierce and domineering words came from above. The figure did not take into account the feelings of others. He went his own way. The heavy soles of his feet were about to step down. Hum. With a low cold hum, the man above his head was fast, but Xiao Yang was faster than him. Just at the moment when the soles of the feet were about to fall, Xiao Yang punched up and hit the center of the soles of the feet that the figure stepped on. The terrible force poured out in a short time. With another slight click sound, the whole leg of the figure above Xiao Yang's head was immediately twisted, the bone was broken, and the face of the figure showed an expression of pain. He never thought that no one dared to provoke him in this Northern Army city. Today, he kicked the iron plate, and the rebound force of this iron plate would be so terrible. The figure flew backward uncontrollably. Then, the whole person fell into the street. The painful groans came out of his mouth and attracted the attention of passers-by. Seeing that this man was punished, many passers-by hated and laughed in their hearts. "This man is really to blame today. I think your people are dirtier than your shoes." The tone disdained to ridicule a sentence. Xiao Yang's sleeve robe waved lightly, stood with a negative hand, with a cold meaning in his eyes. "Bastard. Wild boy, dare to hurt me, I want you to die." Holding back the severe pain from his legs, the figure climbed up from the ground with his body. With a wave of his big sleeve, the fierce fighting light immediately shot forward and directed at Xiao Yang. In this regard, Xiao Yang raised his hand at will, bent his fingers and shot, and an invisible force burst forward, easily killing his opponent's blow. "Damn it!" Hatefully scolded, the figure raised his head and revealed a middle-aged man's face. His skin was thin like bone and his eyes were sunken. He looked like a person with insufficient energy. You can imagine how he spent his daily life. The two hands quickly sealed, and the huge soul force poured out from the center of the eyebrow and turned into golden light, which condensed into a smaller ray in front of him. Then, the fierce golden light shot out of it and met Xiao Yang again. "Oh, I'm still a matrix mage. Unfortunately, I don't want to make progress. I'm licentious all day. I'm a useless man." He looked at this kind of person casually. Xiao Yang had nothing else but disdain in his heart. With a wave of the big sleeve, the same invisible force surged forward and turned into a storm. In an instant, the golden light disappeared. The terrible force easily broke the array condensed in front of the middle-aged man. Then, the invisible force turned into a sharp blade and fell in front of the middle-aged man's throat. The latter was terrified and just wanted to fight back, but the voice of cold words was long spitting out from Xiao Yang's mouth. "If you dare move again, I'll move your head." At the moment when the words fell, the middle-aged man's body trembled violently, and the invisible blade trembled, leaving a shocking blood mark on his neck, which also made the latter's body immediately stay in place like a sculpture. "Sir, I hope you can show mercy." However, at this moment, behind Xiao Yang, on the other side of Longzifang with his back to him, at this moment, with the falling of a cry, several broken rumors also sounded. In the twinkling of an eye, the figures of 4 old people appeared on the left and right sides of Xiao Yang. One of the old men in yellow robes quickly arched his hands at Xiao Yang and said respectfully, "Sir, Master Jin is the array mage invited by Longzifang to repair the ship. I hope you can let him go in the face of Longzifang. After all, the ship is related to the journey of many people into the North Sea, so I hope you can put the interests of most people in the city first." As soon as the old man said this, together with many pedestrians in the street, his eyes unconsciously fell on Xiao Yang. Now there are so many people in the city waiting for the ship to be repaired. Once Xiao Yang kills the so-called Master Jin, he will inevitably become the target of public criticism. In this way, the gain is not worth the loss. In this way, the guy surnamed Jin can't be killed easily. Everyone frowns. They also hope that the guy surnamed Jin will pay the price, but at first glance, their idea doesn't work. This, together with Xiao Yang, could not help but frown slightly. When the old man realized this, he immediately struck while the iron was hot and spoke again. "You must be a passenger to the sea, sir. In that case, please focus on your own itinerary. Don't delay your itinerary for such a small thing. Boy, you have the guts to kill me. I see you will become the target of public criticism at that time, and you will also pay for it. Huang Quan, I tell you, I can repair the ship this time without half the reward, but I will never allow him to get on the ship. Otherwise." Hiss. The crazy strange laughter came out of the middle-aged man's mouth. However, before his words fell, the invisible blade cut off his head with a hiss. "I told you not to move, but you didn't seem to understand what I said." With a hissing sound, blood splashed, his head fell to the ground, and his soul was chopped by Xiao Yang. However, in the twinkling of an eye, even the 4 strong fighting emperors beside Xiao Yang did not fully recover from the words of the previous moment, but Master Jin was already separated from the head, and those who died could not die anymore. Then, when everyone came back, the expression on his face suddenly became shocked. I'm afraid anyone present would not think that Xiao Yang dared to kill each other on the premise that he knew that Master Jin's identity was related to the maintenance of the ship. Isn't this a positive confirmation of what Master Jin said just now? If you kill him, Xiao Yang will inevitably become the target of public criticism. Such a crazy move is really hard to imagine that he would insist on killing. Is this boy crazy? Aside, the old man in yellow robe who spoke just now also looked at Xiao Yang in front of him with an incredible face. He really couldn't believe that the latter actually killed Master Jin, and he had dissuaded him before. Boy, Jinluan is really domineering, but what Deacon Huang said just now is also good. Once he dies, the repair of the ship must be delayed. We can't afford to wait. Are you responsible to us? Sir, your behavior is what we have always wanted to do, but Deacon Huang is right. Killing him now is equivalent to delaying the trip of so many of us. Sir, you can't afford it. Soon, the voice of dissatisfaction spread out among the crowd. Everyone in the audience talked one after another, and their angry eyes fell on Xiao Yang. Once Master Jin died, the ship maintenance will be affected. These people waited in the city for days or even 10.5 months. Now they are affected again because of Xiao Yang. It's strange not to put all their anger on Xiao Yang. Then, the 4 strong fighters beside Xiao Yang also looked at the latter with a low face. The delay in ship maintenance was not only the loss of these pedestrians, but also a loss of great profits for their Longzifang. Therefore, Xiao Yang in front of him affected not only these pedestrians, but also his Longzifang. "Sir, please come with us and meet the president in Longzifang to make it clear," he said in a low tone. Huang Quan raised his big hand and grabbed it at Xiao Yang's shoulder. Now Master Jin is dead. He can't let the young man in black run away for any reason. "Is that how you invite people to Longzifang?" At the moment Huang Quan shot, Xiao Yang also frowned. Immediately, he gave a cold hum in his mouth, and his body was shocked. The powerful momentum suddenly poured out. The huge power shocked the 4 people around him back a few steps. When he was shocked, his face appeared. Unexpectedly, the young man in black robe in front of him would have such a strong strength. "Together, we must not let him continue." The 4 people looked at each other, and then they stamped the ground together. Their body shape suddenly shot forward. In the blink of an eye, they had appeared beside Xiao Yang, stretched out their hands and grabbed Xiao Yang's body. The 4 7-star fighting emperors, if they are ordinary, can indeed be regarded as a strong force, but in front of Xiao Yang at the moment, they are still far away. "You're really excited." With a cold look in his eyes, Xiao Yang's eyes quickly swept over the 4 people. With a wave of his big sleeve, his fighting spirit condensed, and the soft sleeve robe suddenly became as hard as steel. At the same time, he bombarded the 2 old men's chest with lightning speed. Although the power would not hurt them badly, it was enough to fly them. Bang bang! At the moment when the low collision sound sounded, the remaining Huang Quan and another old man were also attacked again. The speed of the 4 7-star fighting emperors seemed so unbearable in front of Xiao Yang, but in the blink of an eye, all 4 of them were defeated in Xiao Yang's hands. That guy was completely to blame just now. If you don't know each other, don't blame me for being cruel. The eyes were cold and swept over the 4 people who got up awkwardly on the ground. Xiao Yang still stood with his hands on his back, but the smell overflowing from his body made people dare not underestimate it. Shocked by the powerful strength shown by Xiao Yang, the 4 elders were shocked in their hearts, but they didn't dare to make any more moves behind them. They were still in front of the fate of Master Jin. In addition to being helpless, they had to complain secretly in their hearts. Master Jin was used to bullying in his daily life. Now he not only hurt himself, but also implicated Longzifang. As for the passers-by around them, although they have a grudge against Xiao Yang's killing Master Jin, they are also frightened and dare not act rashly after seeing the terrible strength shown by Xiao Yang. However, at this time, Xiao Yang, standing on the street, suddenly turned, frowned, and a pair of eyes full of forest white flame looked behind him again. Above the sky, a golden-robed figure stood impressively, and a huge soul came over the city. The terrible smell made everyone in the city pale, except Xiao Yang, with an indelible look on his face. One after another, the other party's visitors have exhausted his few patience. If this person doesn't know good or bad and plans to continue to fight, he doesn't mind teaching him some lessons. With Xiao Yang's current strength, as long as the other party is not a strong person in the chemical source environment, he is not afraid of the 9-star fighting emperor, but his strength is only worthy of the later period of the 9-star fighting emperor. It's the owner of Longzifang. Hey, once Master Jin died, the repair speed of the ship was affected. Naturally, the workshop owner couldn't sit still. It seems that someone has reported it to the workshop owner. The leader of the workshop is a strong man who has advanced to the 9-star fight emperor in the early years. I'm afraid he will cause trouble if he dares to move Longzifang again after killing Master Jin. When some pedestrians around saw the figure of the golden-robed man, the frightened voice suddenly sounded around the street. At the same time, the golden-robed man's eyes also fell on Xiao Yang below. "This little friend, you killed Master Jin?" There was both surprise and helplessness in the plain voice. He had expected the fate of Master Jin, but he didn't expect that it would be at this time. What's more, the man who killed Master Jin would be a hairy boy. "It's me. Who are you?" The tone was bland, and Xiao Yang asked softly. "I'm Liu Jin, the owner of Longzifang. You killed Master Jin. It's a big deal. I hope you can tell me Longzifang and the boat passengers in the city about it." Liu Jin's eyes fell on the latter and glanced at the 4 Huangquan people over there. He was surprised that the young man in black could stop the 4 Huangquan people on his own. It was really incredible. Explain. How do you want me to explain? His eyes narrowed, and Xiao Yang asked in a neutral tone. I don't want to embarrass you. I just hope you can compensate all the passengers present and the economic losses of Longzifang. Liu Jin spoke, and Xiao Yang made a sound immediately. How much? 10,000 low-level spirit stones, or 1,000 intermediate spirit stones. Wow. As soon as this remark came out, the faces of the people present suddenly changed. Liu Jin's remark was really a lion's big mouth. However, it was understandable for people to look back in public. There are many boat passengers in the Northern Army city, and Longzifang is the biggest force in managing the ship. Now Xiao Yang killed Master Jin, the ship travel is affected, and the boat passengers in the city are also involved. To be honest, there are not many 10,000 spirit stones, but it is really difficult for Xiao Yang to take 10,000 spirit stones alone. Slowly shook his head, Xiao Yang resolutely refused the other party's request. He killed Master Jin only because the other party's actions were too extreme. As for the interests of these people, he never thought about it, let alone the need to think about it. Xiao Yang is neither close nor reason with these people. Why should he consider their interests is to think how these people can consider his feelings if it comes from them. This is true for these people, especially for Longzifang. Xiao Yang doesn't owe anyone, and these people have no reason to accuse him of what he owes. The reason why they say so is just for their own interests. Even if there are so many influential people, Xiao Yang won't take care of them. Things like today can happen all the time on the mainland. Do those who cause all these results have to pay for it? The law of the jungle is the rule of the world. There is never right or wrong here. Only the strong have the right to choose. Now, the choice is in Xiao Yang's own hands. Liu Jin in front of him has no ability to change anything from his hands. However, just as Xiao Yang chose to refuse the person in front of him, a voice came out of his body. His eyes flickered slightly, but Liu Jin frowned in front of him. What happened today has a great impact on his Longzifang. If he doesn't control it, he will certainly be criticized in the future. But if he does, he is afraid that he will leave a bad reputation as a bully. Liu Jin frowned and made a sound to Xiao Yang again. Little friend, I don't want to embarrass you, but this matter is very important. 10,000 spirit stones are the biggest forgiveness. Of course, if you can't get 10,000 spirit stones, if you can find a third-order array mage equivalent to Master Jin, this matter can be solved. As soon as he said this, the passers-by around turned their lips. Master Jin is already one of the few array mags around the Northern Army city. Because he has helped Longzifang repair the ship for many years, he knows the importance to Longzifang, so he makes the latter have no fear in the Northern Army city. Now, once the latter dies, where can he go to find the third-order array mage? Of course, for this requirement, even Liu Jin himself held a glimmer of expectation, but unfortunately, until the end, Xiao Yang shook his head with a dull face. I don't know where there is a third-order array mage. As soon as he said this, Liu Jin's face suddenly became ugly. Since he didn't have it, he could only choose mandatory means. The reputation of Longzifang must not be damaged. Otherwise, there will be no array mage willing to help them in the future. However, I know where there are 5-rank array mags. However, just when Liu Jingang was about to get angry, the words that Xiao Yang continued to spit out in front of him made his whole person instantly numb. In one eye, an unbelievable look rushed into his eyes. Together with the passers-by who heard Xiao Yang's words, they all stared at Xiao Yang with wide eyes and wide mouth. They stared at Xiao Yang with a stunned look. The shock in their hearts was no less than the former. You, sir, are you serious? It was not until a long time later that Liu Jinfang still uttered some incredible doubts, which was what the passers-by around wanted to say. Oh! With a faint smile, Xiao Yang's heart moved. In the depths of his eyes, the forest-white flame quickly disappeared and retreated. Instead, it was a milky white color. The breath belonging to Xiao Yang quickly subsided and turned into another powerful and strange breath. This is Xiao Xian. At this time, it was Xiao Xian who controlled the body. Almost at the same time when the flame dispersed, the incomparably vast soul power gushed out of Xiao Yang's body and turned into an invisible energy storm, sweeping through the city. Buzz. Suddenly, anyone who felt the pressure of the soul in the city felt dizzy. Even Liu Jin's face changed. He never thought that the 5-rank array mage mentioned by the young man in black was himself. This 5th level soul power. 5th level array mage. The shock in his heart was uncontrollable. While saying this sentence, Liu Jin's breath became a little trembling, and the shock in his heart could not be expressed in words. Is that enough? The indifferent voice of words came out of Xiao Yang's mouth, and a word fell down. The person in front of him suddenly recovered. Then he quickly arched his hands respectfully at Xiao Yang and hurriedly said, "Master joked. In your capacity, just a Jin Shin will kill him. Naturally, I can't explain. I spoke abruptly before. I hope you don't blame me." Although he was a 4th level array mage, Liu Jin dared not have any temper in front of a 5th level array mage. Even what he said earlier was shamelessly taken back by him at the moment. Joke. The other party is a 5th level array mage with an extraordinary identity. It can't be said that it is the sacrifice of any great force. Once it is provoked, even his Long Zafang can't afford the price. However, what makes Liu Jin suspicious at the moment is that Xiao Yang in front of him suddenly looks like a person, and his breath becomes strange. However, due to the strong strength of the latter, he doesn't dare to make more guesses. It's funny to think about it. Coldly left a sentence, but the latter was accompanied by a quick smile. I'm not here to see your jokes. I just want to know where the ship I want to take is. Liu Jin's face was stunned. He immediately made an invitation gesture to Xiao Yang and said respectfully, "The ship is being repaired at the port of the North Gate in the city. I hope you can help us. I think we can repair the ship's damage soon." "Of course I can help you repair the ship, but pay." Xiao Yang's words once again made Liu Jin mune. Repairing the ship can make it enter the North Sea as soon as possible. Isn't that enough to attract him? "Master, if you can repair the ship as soon as possible, it will be important for your trip. I believe the ship will have to be repaired sooner or later. I'm not in a hurry if I can't get out of the sea. I'm afraid your profit of Longzafang will be reduced a lot. If you don't want to, that's all." With these words, Xiao Yang was about to turn back. Liu Jin suddenly changed his face. Since the former had shown his identity, he must ask him back to help. But the so-called reward made him feel helpless. A bitter smile in his heart. I'm afraid it's the former's revenge for his behavior just now. As soon as his eyes turned, Liu Jin quickly stopped Xiao Yang, who was about to turn around. He quickly piled up a smile on his face and said, "Why don't you do that? In addition to sailing, our Longzafang also sells some medicinal materials. If the master wants, we can use some medicinal materials as a reward." The medicine used to refine medicine was used to reward an array mage. I'm afraid it would have been a turn for ordinary people. But this time, Xiao Yang frowned and showed a touch of displeasure on his face. The latter also laughed at him. In this way, the two can be regarded as a secret fight between you and me. However, what Liu Jinyuan doesn't know is that the 5th order array mage standing in front of him now not only has the identity of array mage, but also a 4th order herbalist. Pill is Xiao Yang's main way just now. With a sneer in his heart, Xiao Yang was calm and hummed softly, which seemed to be a reluctant way. "Yes, but I want to take 10 pairs of pills." Xiao Yang's request was high, but Liu Jin finally agreed. After all, as a matrix mage, even if he took 10 pairs of pills, it was still useless. Of course, it was just Liu Jin's idea. Even if others were suspicious, they didn't dare to say more. Later, under the leadership of Liu Jin, the two soon came to the north gate of Beijun City, that is, the port entering the North Sea. Sure enough, there was a huge ship standing here like a giant beast in the sea. The whole body of the giant ship is dark grey, and only a few parts can see pure black color. As for more, there are some particularly eye-catching scars, which are the witness of the giant ship to the years. The people who originally blessed the array for this ship should not be ordinary people. Seeing the mysterious lines vaguely seen in some corners of the ship, Xiao Yang's eyes coagulated slightly, and a look of surprise flashed through the depths of the milky pupils. Smelling the speech, Liu Jin's original figure of walking slowly forward was also a slight pause. His eyes followed Xiao Yang's line of sight. Even when he saw those mysterious lines, he couldn't help showing a look of pride on his face and said with a smile. That was left by the first leader of Longzifang. He was once a 6th Order array mage. He was also a famous figure in the northern region at the beginning. Now all the large ships owned by Longzifang were personally applied by the leader at the beginning. It's a pity that our ships can be maintained until now. Although the words in front were full of confidence, at the end, Liu Jin's face gradually showed a lonely look. Since the first leader of the workshop, there have never been 6-rank array mags in Longza workshop. They are the strongest and only 5-rank senior. Only with the foundation laid by our ancestors can we go all the way to the present. It's a pity, even so, we come to me. Liu Jin was silent, and Xiao Yang was also silent. Looking at the shame on the latter's face, Xiao Yang and Xiao Xian couldn't help feeling surprised, but in the end, they didn't say much and walked silently. They boarded the ship one after another. A few minutes later, they came to the dark room at the core of the ship. The spirit stones everywhere emitted glittering white light, which illuminated the whole dark room. The rich energy breath filled the whole dark room, and most of the energy in those spirit stones was merged into a huge array shining on the ground of the dark room at the moment. In this dark room at the moment, in addition to these accumulated spirit stones, 2 old people are sitting in it, and a steady stream of golden light gushes out of the 2 old people's bodies and is constantly injected into the array under them. The energy of the spirit stone is used to maintain the operation of the array, and those golden lights are the key to repairing the array. Because I can't repair the damage of the ship alone, I can only invite them. Jin Xin was one of them. Seeing the two, Liu Jinli immediately explained to Xiao Yang. From the latter's words, he could hear a sense of helplessness. Yes, if Liu Jin was a 5th Order array mage, he wouldn't get these 2 old guys sitting here. Xiao Yang's entry immediately disturbed the 2 old men. When they opened their eyes, a small golden light passed through their eyes. Then, the 2 people's eyes swept Liu Jin, followed by frowning and looking aside at Xiao Yang, who looked young. Lord Liu Fang, didn't you go to find Jin Xin? Why did you bring back a doll? Don't tell me you fired Jin Xin, but you called another doll to help us. It's nonsense. What can a suckling smelly boy do? The 2 sing and make peace, and their words are full of ridicule. Oh, Jin Xin is dead, and he can't come. And if he can, he can't use it, and it's not what you has the final say. Liu Jin smiled coldly. Although they are not as domineering as Jin Xin, they are not good birds. The cost of repairing them every time is outrageous. He has long had enough of these 2 goods. What are you talking about? Jin Xin is dead. Who is so bold to kill him and his people? Didn't you catch them back? The look on the faces of the 2 old men suddenly changed. Jin Xin was invited by Longzifang. Longzifang was naturally responsible for his death. No, I didn't catch it, but please. In the name of Longzifang, I ask the master to come and help repair the ship. Shaking his head, Liu Jin retorted to the 2 elders with a smile. What are you talking about? You mean, with this smelly boy who didn't even grow his hair, you said he killed Jin Xin? How is that possible? Boom. However, this time, at the moment when the old man drank and cursed, the terrible soul pressure filled the whole dark room. The bodies of the 2 old men were lying on the ground with no time to resist. The 2 people were severely pressed on the array, and the whole old face became distorted and abnormal. At the same time, there was endless panic. It also surged into the old man's heart in an instant. If you scold one more word, I'll tear your tongue. The bland voice of words was full of domineering and strength. The 2 old men immediately supported it with vague voices. It was not until the pressure pressed them almost out of breath that Xiao Yang moved his mind and took back the released soul power. Then, the 2 old men got up in horror, knelt to the ground and kowtowed to Xiao Yang to admit their mistakes. Liu Jin, who was next to Xiao Yang, looked at all this and sneered in his heart. At the same time, he also revolved in his heart the words Xiao Yang had given him before. It's funny to think about it. I have to say, this sentence is really applicable to most people. Ha ha, master, next, We will rely on you to help us repair the array on the ship. Seeing this, even Liu Jin himself was more respectful to Xiao Yang. The latter nodded gently when he heard the speech, and then sat down according to Liu Jin's instructions. The two old men followed Xiao Yang in a hurry. Immediately, the four people entered the state and began to slowly repair the array under their feet with some special methods. This time, with the addition of Xiao Yang, the fifth-order array master, the repair speed of the array is undoubtedly much faster, which surprised Liu Jin. At the same time, Xiao Yang, who has handed over the body control to Xiao Xian, is also relieved. The next day, after a whole day of joint repair, the ship Xiao Yang wanted to take was finally repaired. In this way, the ship can go to sea today. This is great good news for both Long Zifang and Xiao Yang. After that, Liu Jin also fulfilled his promise and gave Xiao Yang 10 pairs of medicinal materials for refining pills. These 10 pairs of medicinal materials are the same pill and the ingredients required for Fengxiao pill. This is the last pill Xiao Yang promised Xing Qian that he owed the latter. Beihai and his party said that it would take at least 3 or 5 months, and within this time, Xiao Yang would be able to refine the Phoenix pill. Seeing that Xiao Yang took away 10 sets of medicinal materials for refining Phoenix Young pill, although he didn't know what pill it was, he looked at those precious medicinal materials and took them away impolitely. Rao's old face still couldn't help but smoke hard with Liu Jin's temperament. He was grinning. People who didn't know the way thought it was his toothache. Only Xiao Yang laughed secretly in the bottom of his heart. Helping Long Zifang repair the ship this time not only advanced his sailing date, but also got 10 pairs of medicinal materials used to refine Phoenix pill, which can be said to have made a lot of money. As for Long Zifang, although these medicinal materials seem precious, it is not difficult to guess that these 10 pairs of medicinal materials are really just a drop in the bucket for them based on their years of experience. What's more, the profits brought to them by ship repair are the greatest. Just one round trip of this ship is enough for all the people in Longzifang to collect a sum, not to mention several ships going to sea at the same time. In contrast, just medicinal herbs are nothing. After receiving the herbs, Xiao Yang got on the boat with a hot mood. He really couldn't wait for this moment. For this Beihai, for the so-called Beihai College, Haimo dust, he is already a little anxious. As the body of Haishin flame, Haimo dust can not only help him improve his cultivation, but also another part of the burning formula in his hands, which Xiao Yang has been looking forward to for a long time. In addition to these, there was a faint palpitation in the bottom of Xiao Yang's heart. Inexplicably, he felt that he would have unexpected harvest during his trip to the North Sea. The boat passengers in the city also flocked to the boat at the time of boarding. After taking countless spiritual stones as the price, the people who really boarded the boat were only 100 people. These people were able to board the boat only after fighting their own huge price. The ship started boarding in the morning, and it was not until noon that it officially left the port and turned its rudder into the sea. Therefore, Xiao Yang's trip to the North Sea also officially began. Almost at the same time, in the western regions, after a few months, Yi Luotian and his party finally made another move. In a natural valley in the western wasteland, there are many pavilions and pavilions. The valley is green and the spring water gurgles and turns into a stream around the inner side of the whole valley. The curl of smoke floats over the pavilions, making it more like a dream. The mountain and valley here is like a secluded paradise. There are figures walking between the pavilions from time to time. Although the clothes are simple, the invisible breath is not underestimated. Here, even the most ordinary people also have good accomplishments. Hiss. At the entrance of the valley, accompanied by a burst of air-breaking sound, several figures quickly set foot here. Almost at the same time, the faces of those figures who were originally relaxed and wanton in the valley suddenly showed an alert look. They looked at each other, but they disappeared in the dark in the blink of an eye. These people are particularly agile. They don't look like ordinary villagers. On the contrary, they look like a well-trained army. Don't be nervous, it's us. At the entrance of the valley, two figures came forward first. The leader said a faint word. Suddenly, those people in the valley immediately relaxed. At this time, the speaker was Yang Hua, who had followed Qin Yun. Standing beside him was Yang Lai. In addition to these two people, 2 others followed behind them. One of them, looking at his appearance, was the leader of the Withered Leaf sect, Yi Luotian, and the other was a guy who was covered under his black robe and couldn't see his face clearly. You 2 go in first. We'll go in as soon as the time comes. There was a hint of command in the faint voice of the words. Yang Hua nodded respectfully when they heard the words. Immediately, their toes gently touched the ground, their body turned into a streamer, and disappeared here in a twinkling of an eye. Seeing the 2 men disappear in front of him, Yi Luotian's mouth slowly aroused a smile. His eyes scanned the valley in front of him for a week, and his heart was even more sarcastic. As a hegemonic force in the western regions, I am willing to hide in this small valley. The so-called hidden world is nonsense. From today on, I want you to dominate the western regions again. Qin Shuo, thank me, gaga, gaga. The cold and strange laughter hovered around the 2 people, and then the surrounding environment soon returned to calm. Other people in the valley didn't pay much attention to the 2 people's location, and they were busy. Until half an hour later, there was a roar in the depths of the valley, and there was a violent roar, and the whole valley trembled violently. The faces of the people in the valley changed greatly one after another, and their eyes looked at the deepest part of the valley. At the same time, Yi Luotian at the entrance of the valley also grinned. He looked at the black-robed man next to him and nodded. Immediately, his body moved, and his body suddenly turned into a streamer. In the twinkling of an eye, it had appeared in the mid-air of the valley. Who dares to break into the valley of the Qin wasteland without permission? At that moment, the shouts came from all over the valley, echoing in the valley like a loud bell, with great momentum. At the same time, there were also several strong breaths, which swept outward, and they were forced to go to Yi Luotian in the air. I'm Yi Luotian, the leader of the Withered Leaf sect, coming to visit Qin Huangmi Valley. With a cold smile, Yi Luotian's body flying forward did not stop at all. At the same time, the words in his mouth turned into an invisible wave of energy, which easily broke the pressure around him. Then, in the shocked eyes of the people in the valley, he and the black-robed people around him disappeared into the deepest part of the valley, which was the place Yang Hua had entered before. At the same time, it is also the Valley Master of Qin Huangmi Valley. This video will end here.